I want to tell you something that surprised even me. I ran an experiment. 7 days. ChatGPT as my personal therapist. One session every day, structured, logged, treated like a real appointment. And on day 4, I said something I had never said to anyone. Not to a friend, not in a journal. Something I had known somewhere for years and never once let myself say out loud. That moment is coming. But let me start from the beginning. Last year I was stuck. Not dramatically stuck, not crisis stuck, just quietly stuck. The kind where you wake up, move through the day, and somewhere around 9 p.m., realize you've been carrying the same 3 thoughts for 6 months and nothing has moved. I couldn't afford a therapist. And even if I could, I didn't know what I'd say. So one night I opened ChatGPT and typed something I'd never typed before. I need to talk to someone. Can you be my therapist for a week? I didn't know what I expected. Probably something useless. I'm sorry you're feeling this way. Have you tried journaling? What happened instead changed something that 6 months of trying on my own hadn't touched. Here's how I set it up: 7 days, one session per day, minimum 15 minutes. Same time, no skipping. I treated it like a real appointment because I think the only way to test something honestly is to take it seriously. Each day I gave ChatGPT a different therapeutic approach. Not be my therapist, and that's too vague. Something specific based on what I actually needed that day. Day 1, active listening, just reflect what I'm saying. Day 2, cognitive behavioral. Find the thought pattern. Day 3, free association. Everything out, no filter. Day 4, the one I didn't plan. Day 5, future self. Who is the version of me who figured this out? Day 6, core belief. What's actually running this? Day 7, integration. What did this week show me? I logged everything. What I said, what it said, what, if anything, shifted. Day 1, I went in skeptical. Almost guarded, I told it. Act as a therapist using active listening. Don't give advice, don't fix anything. Just listen and reflect back what I'm saying. And then I talked about the stuck feeling, about the same thoughts on repeat, about feeling like I was watching my own life happen to someone else. What it reflected back surprised me. Not a summary, not a paraphrase. It said, "It sounds like you don't feel like the author of your own story right now. Like things are happening to you rather than because of you." I sat with that. I hadn't used the word author. It found that frame from what I said. And once I heard it, I couldn't unhear it. Something small shifted. Not fixed, just named. Day 2 is where it started getting specific. I asked it to find the thought pattern, CBT style. I'm going to describe something that keeps happening. Help me find the automatic thought, the belief underneath it, and where that belief might have come from. The situation. I keep starting things and not finishing them. Every time, projects, habits, plans, start strong, disappear. It walked me through it. Automatic thought, if I can't do this perfectly, there's no point. Core belief underneath, my value depends on my output. Then it asked me 3 questions. Not statements, questions. And by the third answer, I'd connected it myself to something much earlier. Something I hadn't thought about in years. I expected the AI to tell me something. Instead, it asked questions until I told myself something. That's different. That matters. Day 3 was the most uncomfortable session of the week. I told it to let me free associate. Everything out, no filtering. Only speak if you notice something I'm avoiding. I wrote for 10 minutes. Stream of consciousness, no editing. It waited until I was done. Then it said, I noticed you mentioned one specific thing 3 times, each time in a slightly different way, and then immediately changed the subject. Would you like to look at that? I had not noticed. The thing it flagged was something I genuinely believed I'd already dealt with. Apparently, I hadn't. I sat with that longer than I expected. Day 4. This is the one I mentioned at the start. I didn't have a plan that day. I just opened it and typed, I don't know what I need today. I just know something's wrong and I can't name it. It said, okay, let's not name it yet. Just tell me, what does it feel like in your body right now? That question stopped me. Therapists ask that. Real ones. Not, what are you thinking? What does it feel like in your body? It's a specific technique. It bypasses the part of your brain that's been rehearsing answers. I answered honestly. Tightness in my chest, shoulders up, like I'm waiting for something bad to happen. It asked, how long have you been waiting? I started to type, a few weeks. Then I stopped. Because the honest answer was longer than that. Much longer. I typed the honest answer and it said, that sounds exhausting. To be that vigilant for that long, you've been protecting yourself from something. What were you protecting yourself from? I stared at the screen, longer than I expected, and then I typed something I had never said to anyone. Not out loud, not in writing. Something I had circled for years without ever landing on it directly. I'm not going to tell you what it was. It's mine. But saying it, even in text, even to an AI, did something. It broke something open that needed to be broken open. After day 4, I needed to look forward. Day 5, I asked it to help me find the future version of myself, the one who had worked through what we'd been talking about all week. What does that person know that I don't yet? What did they do differently? It built that version based on everything from the sessions, the patterns, the beliefs, the thing from day 4. The future self it described wasn't perfect, wasn't some transformed version, just someone who had stopped waiting. Someone who had decided, quietly, without announcement, to be the author. That word again. Author. From day 1. It hadn't forgotten. Neither had I. Day 6 was the clearest session of the week. Based on everything, what do you think is the single core belief running most of what I've described? Name it. Show me where it's been showing up. Then tell me what the opposite belief looks like. The core belief it named, I am only safe if I am in control of how others perceive me. It traced that belief through everything, the starting and not finishing, the vigilance, the years of not saying the thing directly, all of it connected. And then it described the opposite belief, what my life might look like if I actually held that instead. I wrote it down, on paper, in my own handwriting. Somewhere I see it. Day 7. The last one. Act as an integrating therapist. Summarize what we covered. Name the 3 most important things I discovered. Tell me the one thing to carry into next week. And tell me honestly, what do you think I'm still avoiding? The summary was accurate, the 3 things were right. The one thing to carry forward? Start finishing things. Not perfectly, just done. The thing I was still avoiding, it named something I hadn't said directly all week. Something it had inferred from the shape of what I talked around. It was right. The week closed. Something that had been open for a long time felt not resolved, but less open. Here's what I want to say clearly before you go. ChatGPT is not a therapist. It cannot replace one. If you're in real pain, depression, trauma, crisis, please talk to a human who is trained for that. I mean that, what it is. A space. Patient, available, non-judgmental. It doesn't get tired of you. It doesn't check the clock. It doesn't have its own agenda. It just holds the conversation and reflects it back. What happened to me this week? I named things I'd been circling for years. I identified patterns that had been running quietly in the background. I said something I'd never said. And I ended the week with more clarity than I'd had in a long time. Did it replace therapy? No. Did something real happen? Yes. Undeniably yes. The most unexpected result wasn't anything ChatGPT said, it was what I said. Because it created the space to say it. All 7 prompts, one for each day, are in the pinned comment below, formatted and ready to copy. If you try even one session, come back and tell me what happened. Specifically this, what did you say that you hadn't said before? Because I think that's where the value actually lives. Not in the AI's answers, in yours. Subscribe, next video. I gave ChatGPT my entire weekly schedule and asked it to redesign my life. What it decided to cut surprised me more than what it kept. See you there.